Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and another budget-friendly DIY video. Today I'm going to be sharing with you some more patriotic DIYs, so let's get started. Today we're going to be working on some items for my tier tray, and I'm going to start off with this wood hanging decor piece from the Dollar Tree. It does come in different shapes, and we're going to cut off the hanger and use this lightweight spackling, which is also from the Dollar Tree, and fill in that hole. It does take a little bit of working it through because it's a pretty thick piece, and so the hole's, kind of deep. And I want it to be all the way through to the other side. I will probably at some point do something with the other side of this and make it a two-sided sign, but for today I'm just doing one side. Once you have all the lightweight spackling in and it has fully dried, you're going to sand it with, sandpaper and smooth it out, and then I'm going to paint everything with some Waverly chalk paint in the color white. I am going to do the edges and both sides, but that's all I'm going to do on the reverse side for today. If you are interested in seeing some other patriotic DIYs, I'm going to try to remember to have them linked down in the description box for you. I have some from this channel, and then also I previously shared my DIYs on my other channel, and so I've got some from then, and I'm going to try to link those for you as well. So once the paint is fully dry, I'm taking these stickers that I believe are from Hobby Lobby that I picked up on clearance a while ago. I always check their clearance section, and I'm just putting 1776, and then I'm using these other stickers which are from the Dollar Tree to put EST. I'm using my little ruler to try to get them on there straight, and then we're going to coat a couple coats of Waverly chalk paint in the color Ocean. Now, to make sure I don't get underneath those stickers at all, I am going to just stencil this on, trying to not have too much paint on at once, but taking my time, but still getting full coverage. And actually, maybe I only ended up doing one coat of paint. And then you're going to let it dry completely. And I'm using this little weeding tool from the Dollar Tree. I don't remember exactly what they called it, but I think it's used for using vinyl and stuff. And we're going to pick off these stickers. Now, this was a little bit tedious because those red stickers, they're just not the greatest for this kind of thing. I mean, it worked, but they just didn't come off super easy. I've used them other times for projects, and it's always a little bit of a struggle, but I still made it work. Plus, if you go with a rustic feel or a farmhouse feel, it's very easy to make your DIYs work, because even if it's not perfect, it's totally okay. So we're going to peel off all of our stickers on this one, and then I think I'm going to give it a coat. Oh yeah, I sanded it down just lightly, and then we're going to give it a coat of Mod Podge and then let that dry. And this is just in celebration of America's birth date. I'll be showing you the finished product at the very end. So for this next DIY, it's kind of a DIY, but we're just taking a jar. I think it was a jam jar, jelly jar of some kind. I always save any jars that I think are pretty. And we're going to give this a couple coats of Waverly chalk paint in the color white, and just be really careful with painting on glass. Make sure it dries fully in between, otherwise the paint will just come off. I only did 2 coats. 3 coats probably would have helped remove any streaks from the paintbrush, but I didn't mind it being a little bit, like I said, rustic. I did think about painting each section red, white, and blue, but for my tier tray I really needed a pop of white, so I decided to go with just a solid white. Plus, this will be very easy to switch out and use for other seasons and holidays in the future. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and say hello in the comments. Tell me what your favorite DIY is, or if you decorate it at all with patriotic decor. Just any interaction like that. First of all, I just love to hear from you and interact with you, but that also lets YouTube know that people are interested in my content, and they are more likely to push this video out to new subscribers. And so I would just appreciate if you did that. It's just a really simple way for you to help me out. Once that is all dry, we are going to give it a good coat of Mod Podge so that the paint does not chip off the glass. And speaking of new subscribers, if you have not yet subscribed, please consider doing so. If your subscribe button is still red, it means you have not yet subscribed to my channel. Right now I post 1 video a week, and occasionally I throw in an extra one, and I like to share budget-friendly DIYs over here. I'm going to go in with some red ribbon along with a blue and white striped twine. I think the ribbon might have been from Dollar Tree as well, but I know the twine was. And I'm just using some tacky glue. I don't want to attach this right to the glass jar itself because, like I said, I can switch this out. So I just glued a piece of ribbon around the top, and then we're going to make a little bow. And I'm actually just I'm not going to tie it in a bow. I'm just going to make kind of a little crisscross, and then I'm going to take the blue and white twine and wrap that several times around the middle, and that's how I will be securing the bow, and that'll be the centerpiece of the bow. And then once I have it the way I like it, I will just tie off the blue and white twine and glue this to the ribbon as well. Now I'll be sharing with you at the end how I'm going to be using this jar on my tiered tray. For the next one, I'm going to use the flip side of this sign, and I will try to remember to link that video where I made this other one. And this is obviously not going to fit on a tiered tray, but it goes on my counter near my tiered tray. So I went through all of my letters and supplies, and I had the wooden home word is from the Dollar Tree. It came in a 2-pack, and then the red stickers were from on clearance from Hobby Lobby, and those little I don't know how you describe them. They're like foam cardboard stickers, letter stickers. Those were also clearance from the from Hobby Lobby. And I was able to have enough of everything that I needed to write out this phrase. And I like the different textures and fonts and dimensions and all of that. So now we've got to make it look a little bit more cohesive. So I'm using a baby wipe and some antique wax, and we are going to stain the home word wood. I thought that would be a nice contrast, and it went well with the way that the sign was already painted. It was painted white, and it's got some like dry brushing of like a brown or antique wax. I can't remember what I did, so I thought that would look good. And then we're going to paint all of these letters here with the color Ocean, and I just did a couple maybe 1.5 coats. I think I did 1 coat and then just kind of touched up a couple spots. And this did take a little while, but to me it was totally worth it. And I just painted each and every one of these. So there's 2 words, I guess it's free and brave, that I painted with the ocean color. I had said in my last video how I liked not having a lot of words because I feel like I can have too many signs with words. So I've been trying to do a lot more without words. But I had a couple in this video that have them, but I tried to pick things that are not just like the maybe more frequently used things. So anyways, I hope that you enjoy this. So here it all is laid out, and now we're going to try to attach everything. I was so nervous that I wasn't going to be able to have things spaced out right and even and all of that, but I think I did a pretty good job in the end. So I'm using my, what do you call this ruler? It's a square something, L something. I can't remember what it's called. I picked it up at the Dollar Tree, but you can just use a ruler. And I'm using more of that like crafter's glue, but I was having trouble, as you can see. So I had to clean out some of the dried glue from the top, and then the nozzle needed to be cleaned out, which I did later, but for the sake of wanting to get this project done, I just used my paintbrush and painted it on, and I'm going to use that for everything except for the red stickers. So we're just going to attach this. It's nice because it dries clear. It also gives a tiny bit of wiggle room before it's like fully attached. And we're going to use, just put the stickers on as is and do this all the way across. I just took my time doing this, trying to get everything spaced out as best I could. If you look at it too long, you'll start to notice a few imperfections, but for the most part, it came out pretty good. And then I realized that these were actually stickers, so I peeled off the backing of it and then put a little bit of glue on top of the stickers. And then I went back and peeled off the F because I was afraid that since I was not gluing on the actual back, that it may come off down the road. So anyways, this is going to vary based on what type of words and letters you're going to use, but I highly recommend checking Hobby Lobby. Not just their clearance section, but their style or their aisle with all of the letters and stickers. Sometimes they just have clearance ones there as well. So now I'm just going to Mod Podge over the stickers just to try to get rid of a little bit of the shiny finish and also just to help them stick down more. So moving on to our last DIY, I have this little wooden mason jar sign that I've had in my stash from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to use my hair dryer, or you can use a heat gun, to just heat up where these flowers are. It just warms up the glue and it makes it a lot easier to get them off. And I'm going to scrape it off with a little scraper. You could also use a putty knife, and then I'm going to sand it down as well. Now you could just use the back side of this, but once again I will probably down the road make this a reversible one, and so I just figured this time I would do the side that already had stuff on it and do the work of taking it all off. So I'm going to tape off and use my Waverly chalk paint in the color Crimson to do a couple of coats across the top. Take that off, and then once that's dry, I taped it off, and we're going to do a rough coat of white on the bottom. I wanted to cover all of the words, but I didn't do it super intense that I couldn't see any of like the wood color on like the edges and stuff. And then we're going to go in, once that is dry, with a little bit of dry brushing with some Waverly Antique wax. And then when that is dry, I went in with a sanding block and just kind of roughed it up a little bit, and, you know, wanted to stick with the rustic theme. And then, of course, wiping off all of the dust from sanding it. I'm using these window clings from the Dollar Tree. I've used them in other DIYs, and I have a couple left. And I'm just going to attach this little one on here with some Mod Podge, and I just kind of took my time, smoothed it out really good, and got it centered. And then once I felt like it was in a good spot, I went and Mod Podged over the front of it. I did put Mod Podge over the whole thing just so that everything had the same finish. And then I'm going to take more of that blue and white twine, and I'm going to wrap this across the top just a few times and then tie a little bow in it. And then here in just a second, you're going to see all of these DIYs put together. So this is where I have some of my DIYs that I made in this video, and my little tiered tray area on the corner of the counter in my kitchen. And I just thought I'd show you how I had it all displayed. I will try to remember to link other videos below with some other of my patriotic DIYs. I thought I'd share with you this other spot where I have some more patriotic DIYs. I have a lot of these from this year's videos, as well as some from last year, and even I think some from my other channel before I separated my DIYs onto this channel. So I'll try to remember to link any videos for you if you're interested. And that's it for today's video. If you liked it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new, and I will see you in my next one. Bye, guys.